Hey dear students, I'm back with another video lecture, and this time it is going to be related to a highly humorous and comical poem titled The Tale of Custard the Dragon, composed by a really famous American poet, Ogden Nash. Now, this poem has been included at the end of the story titled Madam Rides the Bus, the summary, recapitulation, as well as concluding portion of which has previously been discussed in the form of two video lectures. So all the students are required to watch the first two videos in case they haven't done it as of now. In this video lecture, we will dive deeper into the poem The Tale of Custard the Dragon with the help of the explanation of individual stanzas, and we will figure out what exactly the poet has to offer to the readers. But before that, it is highly imperative, really essential that we get introduced with the central idea or theme of this poem. So in this case, there are two central ideas or two key themes. The first one primarily is never judge a book by its cover. A really famous adage or proverb that I guess each one of you must have heard it time and again. It means people should never form their opinion about the skill sets, caliber, potential, or capability of someone based on his or her appearance or some of the personality traits. Because everyone in this world is unique and he or she may have his or her own strengths and weaknesses. And the person should never be judged based on one thing or the other. And the second central idea is that even those individuals who the society may think of as coward or timid may turn out to be really courageous and brave and demonstrate their bravery and audacity during the times of adversity or difficult circumstances. So without any further delay, let's begin with a line-by-line explanation of individual stanzas and see what exactly transpires, what exactly happens in this poem. But before that, it is really important to have a brief discussion about the title. As you can see on the slide itself, that the title of this poem, that is a children's poem composed by a renowned American poet, Ogden Nash. The title is The Tale of Custard the Dragon. Now, let's break it down into simple parts. Let's break down the title into smaller parts. So, the phrase, the tale. Now, tale is a pretty simple word that refers to a short story or narrative in which something is described. The tale of Custard. Now, Custard could be the name given to someone, the dragon. Now, Custard is a dragon if you try to correlate. So, in literal terms, the title means this right here is the story. It is the tale, or it is basically the narrative of a dragon named Custard. Now, let me bring a simple fact to your notice that this right here is a children's poem by Ogden Nash, but it has 15 individual stanzas, and each one of the stanzas have been composed in a lyrical manner. So that is why this poem, firstly, it is a ballad. Now, in the rectangular box itself, you can see that the overview, a brief introduction about the theme of the poem has been provided. What is that? This poem is written in the style of a ballad. Now, a ballad, a song or poem that tells a story. So, The Tale of Custard the Dragon is a ballad. Now, when you talk about a ballad, in the field of literature, poems can be categorized on the basis of the pattern or theme that they follow and the manner in which different poetic devices are used. So in this case, The Tale of Custard the Dragon, this poem describes or narrates the story of a dragon whose name was Custard, and that is why it is a ballad, because ballads are poems or songs in which some kind of story is described or narrated. Moving ahead, it is written, you must be familiar with ballads that narrate tales of courage or heroism. This poem is a humorous, which means comical or funny, ballad close to a parody. Read it aloud, paying attention to the rhythm. Now, the readers have been instructed to read the poem aloud, maintaining the rhythm or the lyrical pattern that the poet has used in this poem. But before that, it is written that apart from being a ballad, this poem is also close to a parody, something comical or funny, because it's a humorous poem. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the dragons, which is highly unlikely, but let me make it clear to you that dragons are supposed to be imaginary creatures that existed, that are believed to have existed in the ancient times, and they feature in many of the stories. So a dragon, when you talk about the appearance of a dragon is a synonym for really dangerous thing. So a dragon used to have huge wings and they could also emit fire from their mouth. So that is why in this case, when you talk about general perception about a dragon, if you are familiar with them, then it could be a scary story for some of you because the word dragon has been used. But on the other hand, in the overview itself, it is given that it's a humorous poem. So that's why it's really inquisitive, really curious to figure out how everything transpires in this poem. Without any further delay, let's begin with the explanation of the very first stanza that begins with the word Belinda. Now, Belinda lived in a little white house with a little black kitten and a little gray mouse and a little yellow dog and a little red wagon and a realio trulio little pet dragon. So first of all, one of the main characters has been introduced in the first stanza, and that is a young girl, a little girl whose name was Belinda. Now Belinda, she resided in a little white house. When you talk about the appearance of the apartment or the house in which this young girl, Belinda, lived, it was painted with white color from the outside. Now, this young girl whose name was Belinda, she had kept 4 pets with herself. So out of the 4 pets, 3 of the pets were pretty common, but the last one was really unusual. So what exactly were the first 3 pets? The first pet was a little black kitten. That means the baby, the young one of a cat, that was black in appearance. The second pet was a little gray mouse, which means a rat that was gray in appearance, and the third pet was a little yellow dog. But when we talk about the fourth pet that Belinda kept with herself, it was a real dragon. And in order to describe the dragon, Ogden Nash has used the words realio trulio. Now, realio refers to real and trulio refers to true. So the poet wants to suggest the readers that it was not a fake dragon, instead it was a real one. Now in the very first stanza, it is a poet who has provided a brief introduction about the context of the story as well as got us introduced with the primary characters. Apart from the 4 pets, Belinda also had a little red wagon. Now, when you talk about the word wagon, it refers to a cart or a vehicle that can be used for transporting goods from one place to another place. And when we talk about our observation here, the poet has used a lyrical pattern here as well as a rhyme scheme has been used. Rhyme scheme is a concept in the field of poems and literature in which words at the end of every line have the same sound with the last word of the second or third line in a given stanza. So let's try to figure out what exactly the rhyme scheme of the first stanza is. Now the last word of the first line is house, and the last word of the second line is mouse. Now house and mouse, they are rhymes. So if we represent house using letter A, mouse will also be represented using the same letter. Now in the third line, the last word is wagon, and in the fourth line of the first stanza, the last word is dragon. Now wagon and dragon, they are also same, they also have the same sound, so that's why they are creating a rhyme pattern here. So if we represent wagon using letter B, dragon will also have to be represented using the same letter, so it becomes BB. So the rhyme scheme of the very first stanza will be AABB. Circling back to the second stanza, it says, now the name of the little black kitten was Ink, and the little grey mouse, she called him Blink, and the little yellow dog was sharp as mustard, but the dragon was a coward, and she called him Custard. So in this case, in the second stanza, Ogden Nash has described some of the characteristics of the dragon as well as the names given to each one of the pets. So the name given to the little black kitten was Ink, and the name given to the little grey mouse was Blink. The name given to the little yellow dog was Mustard, and the name given to the dragon was Custard. Now here, Ogden Nash has described one of the characteristics of the dragon, that he was really coward. Now coward is a simple word that refers to someone who lacks courage or bravery. So due to the fact that Custard, the dragon, lacked bravery, courage, and he always had insecurities and fear in his mind, that's why he was completely different from the other pets. Moving ahead, it is written, Custard the dragon had big sharp teeth, and spikes on top of him, and scales underneath. Mouth like a fireplace, chimney for a nose, and realio trulio daggers on his toes. Now in this case, in the third stanza, the poet Ogden Nash has provided a description of the dragon Custard as to how he looked like. So the dragon Custard had really big and sharp teeth, and he also had some spikes on the top of his body. Now spikes are thin and pointed structures that can be inserted into something. And other than that, he also had some patterns and patches all over his body. The mouth and the nose of the dragon Custard have been compared to a fireplace and a chimney. The mouth of the dragon was similar to a fireplace, which means a structure under which fire can be ignited. Now, since Custard was a dragon who was capable of releasing fire from his mouth, and that's why his mouth was similar to a fireplace and his nose was similar to a chimney from where smoke could be released or emitted. Now, in the last line of the third stanza, Ogden Nash talks about the toes of the dragon that were really dangerous. The toes have been compared to real and true daggers, that means original form of daggers. Now, daggers are sharp knives. So the toes of the dragon Custard were similar to daggers. Moving ahead, it is given, Belinda was as brave as a barrel full of bears, and Ink and Blink chased lions down the stairs. Mustard was as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard cried for a nice, safe cage. In the fourth stanza, the poet talks about some of the characteristics or tendencies of Belinda as well as the pets themselves. So the little girl Belinda, she was really brave and courageous as a person, and she was as brave as a barrel full of bears. Now, barrel is basically a container similar to a drum, cylindrical in shape. So if you put some bears in a barrel, in a cylinder, the level of courage or energy that they demonstrate, same was the case with Belinda. So Belinda has been compared to a group of bears. When we talk about the first two pets, that means the little black kitten whose name was Ink and the little grey mouse whose name was Blink, they have also been compared to someone really brave. So they were so brave that they could chase the lions down the stairs. They could make the lion run away from the house. Now the little yellow dog whose name was Mustard, he was as brave as a tiger in a rage. Rage means anger, fury. So whenever a tiger is really furious or aggressive, same level of tendency was demonstrated by Mustard, the little yellow dog. On the contrary, on the other hand, the dragon whose name was Custard was a coward. He lacked courage and bravery and was always insecure. And due to the fact that he felt insecure about his safety, he demanded a nice safe cage to be brought for him. Now, before moving ahead, let's talk about the rhyme scheme of this stanza as well. So the word bears rhymes with the word stairs, and the word rage rhymes with the word cage. So if we represent the word bears using the first letter of English alphabet, that is A, the second word stairs will also have to be represented using the same letter. So bears and stairs will be represented using the letter A. And rage and cage, they have the same sound, they are the rhymes, and that is why they will be represented using the second letter of the English alphabet, that is the letter B. So the rhyme scheme of this stanza becomes AABB once again, just like the first stanza. Now what has been described next? In the fifth stanza, we come to know about some more characteristics of each one of them. Now Belinda tickled him. She tickled him unmerciful. Ink, Blink, and Mustard, they rudely called him Percival. They all sat laughing in the little red wagon at the Realio Trulio cowardly dragon. So right now some kind of funny description has been provided here that Belinda was really unmerciful. She was an unkind person, and that's why she had the habit, the tendency of teasing the dragon by tickling him, by touching his body softly in order to create troubles for him, in order to tease him. On the other hand, Ink, Blink, and Mustard, they were so rude, they were so unfriendly in their behavior that they called him Percival. Now, Percival was the name of a king who is believed to have left the battlefield. So, Percival was a king who left the battlefield, and that's why his name is often used in those cases in which a person lacks courage. So they rudely, Ink, Blink, and Mustard, they rudely called the dragon Custard Percival because he lacked courage and bravery. So each one of them sat in the little red wagon and they kept laughing at the cowardice, at the lack of courage of the dragon Custard. Let's talk about the implication or the hidden meaning of some of these stanzas. Right now, the theme of this poem revolves around the concepts of bravery, courage, and preconceived notions in the society. So what is generally observed in the world around us is that people, individuals in particular, have fixed opinion, preconceived notions about concepts related to courage and bravery. And the society sets a particular norm for all the members. And in case a person disobeys those norms, in case a person defies those rules and regulations that have previously been set or in case a person doesn't fit the description what the society has laid down for certain things, then people are looked down upon by every member of the society. And same is the case here, as we have seen in the case of the dragon Custard. That Custard liked to stay in his comfort zone. Although dragons are supposed to be really scary and dangerous creatures, on the other hand, this dragon Custard, he liked to stay in his comfort zone. He did not feel like harming any person unintentionally or even intentionally. And that is why everyone tried to take advantage of the situation, be it Belinda or the three pets, Ink, Blink, and Mustard. But this dragon, he was simply scared of something, or he was somewhat innocent in his temperament or nature, and that is why people decided to take advantage of his situation, and he was teased as well as looked down upon by Belinda as well as all the other members of the house. Let's continue with the momentum and rhythmatic pattern set by the poet Ogden Nash. So in the next stanza, it is written, Belinda giggled till she shook the house, and Blink said weak, which is giggling for a mouse. Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age, when Custard cried for a nice safe cage. So in this stanza, Ogden Nash has described some of the activities that were going on in the house. So firstly, in particular, it was the young girl Belinda, the owner of the house, who laughed so loudly that her voice could be heard anywhere in the house. Her voice resonated or echoed in the entire house. On the other hand, when we talk about Blink, who was a little grey mouse, whenever he made a sound, whenever he produced a sound, it was similar to the sound weak, because they were trying to tease the dragon Custard. Now, when we talk about the little black kitten Ink and the little yellow dog Mustard, they were so rude in their behavior and they tried to take advantage of the situation, and that is why they rudely asked the age of the dragon Custard. Now, this happened whenever Custard demanded a nice safe cage to be brought for him, because he wanted to ensure his safety, because he was somewhat scared, he was feeling insecure, and you can say that he was kind of innocent as a dragon and he did not fit the description of a dragon. So in this children's poem, the rhyme scheme can easily be identified by the readers. The word in this stanza, the word house rhymes with the word mouse, and the word age rhymes with cage. So once again, the same rhyme scheme will be there, AABB. That's it for this video, in which we have covered 6 of the individual stanzas as well as a brief introduction of the poem. In the subsequent videos that I will be sharing, we are going to figure out as to what exactly happens next, and why the poem is titled The Tale of Custard the Dragon,